You're going to need to make assessments in Schoology at some point. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm going to go through multiple test question types that you can use and show you how to do it. It seems a little overwhelming at first because there's a lot of choices, but once you do it a time or two, you'll see it's really super easy. And if you build certain kinds of questions, it automatically grades itself, which is kind of nice. Okay, so I'm going to my demo course and I'm going to go to Add Materials and I'm going to add an assessment. Now you'll see right above Add Assessment, there is an Add Test or Quiz. That feature is going to go away soon. They're phasing it out. So you would want to do Add Assessment rather than Add Test or Quiz. They're pretty much the exact same thing, except for that this Add Assessment feature has more options for you. Okay, so first thing you'll do is give it a name, and this is what we'll show on your front page. You can give it a due date. You can decide if it's going to be a certain amount of points, password, disable unless you want them to need a password to log in for some reason. Submissions means can they actually take the test? So if you haven't set it to enable, then students will not be able to take the test. You can enable it during certain time frames by clicking enable until, or you can just enable it in general and then leave it open until all students have finished it, or till the end of time if you wish, or until you choose to actually go ahead and disable it. Category is graded or ungraded. So if you are using the Schoology gradebook, you can put it into a grading category. If it's something that you're not going to actually take a grade on, you're just doing like a knowledge check or a reading comprehension check, you can choose the ungraded option. Okay, and then for your grading periods, I don't have any set up, so that wouldn't work for you. You can do it on a numeric scale, or you can tell them they're getting an A, B, C, D, hopefully an A. And then down here, I wouldn't worry about all of these things unless you have a reason to, but you want to make sure that it's published to students if you want them to see it. If you want to hold it back and not let them see it, you just choose unpublished. And then you create. Okay, so the first thing you've got to do is set it up. The instructions are the things that students are going to be able to see before they take the test when they look at the test on the front page. So I might say something like, you have unlimited time to take this quiz once you start. You can take the quiz up 2 times. Open notes are allowed. Okay, so I already promised them that it's unlimited time, but you could set a time limit on it. This question assessment questions are randomly ordered would be perhaps to slow down on cheating. I don't know. People have different feelings about that, but I'm not going to randomly order them for different students. They're all going to see the questions the same way. Okay, show possible points for each question during the attempt if you want them to know how much they're worth. I'm going to change that to no so they don't see how much each question is worth. Flagging questions for review will remind them to go back and check it. We're not going to worry about that. Students can eliminate answer choices. These are all pretty self-explanatory, I think. For us in English, we wouldn't be using calculators, rulers, or protractors. And here's some other options as well. So like highlighting text might be a nice feature if you're doing some kind of reading comprehension check. Okay, then we get down to the student settings. Allow students to view results after an attempt is submitted. Gives them a chance to kind of go back and look at all of their answers instead of just locking them into you answered it, you move on, and that's it. And then if you want to let your students take it more than one time to show mastery, we've got up to 20. We're going to allow them to. And then if I allowed them to, the final grade will be for them the highest score. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. If you have objective questions, multiple choice, fill in the blank matching, it will self-grade. If you have something that's not objective, you will have to actually go in and grade it yourself. Okay, so the settings are done, and now I'll go back up to the top and you'll see questions, and you have to actually add some questions to your test, and you'll see there are a lot of different choices for types of questions. So let's start at the bottom with the kind of more interesting one. You could have your students submit a video to answer your prompt. Okay, so if that's the case, think about all the different potential for this. Could be lots of different kind of fun things you could do with this, but just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to make it easy. What is your name? Okay, and then here I could give them some additional directions. Learning objectives, aligning rubric, things like that. I think that's sort of more nitty gritty. You can play around with that, but just for nuts and bolts, we're just going to make the question. The next option is to create an audio question. So for this, what is your favorite color? And then the students will have the chance to answer that question speaking aloud. That would be a great feature if you're going to individually assign, especially if you have students with certain accommodations. That might be a nice option for them. Short answer and essay, this as well is one of those subjective questions that you would have to go back and grade. And so here you can have them answer, write a paragraph about how much you love English class. And then you can limit them on how long they can write, or you can show them the word count, lots of different features here. You can also add a whole bunch of reading a poem, something like that, and ask them a question about it. Okay, fill in the blank test. Okay, so for this one, my favorite English teacher is, and then, so you set up the question stem, and then if you use the underscore, that asks them for one response. If you use the underscore twice, that's 2. And so on and so forth. But I only want 2. Then you have to put the correct answer down here. My favorite English teacher is Amy. Okay, so for this kind of question, that gets a little tricky unless you want to go back and check everybody's work. I don't prefer this type of question for this reason, but you can require an exact match. That would work, I guess, if you were doing spelling, or a partial match. So maybe they put Miss Ashton, or maybe they slightly misspelled my name. It would still give it partial. It would still give it credit. I'm not sure how good it is at recognizing those. You'd have to experiment with it. Okay, next we have ordering. And that is where you put things in the order that is sensible. So let's try put the following into logical order. And then you could put literary periods or something like that, events in a book. But for our purposes, we will a super easy question. First period, second period, third period, and period. Here at this point, you need to consider this screen right here to be what the students will see. So if you want to give it to them in chronological order, you can do that, or you can move them around like so, and students will see it this way. You also have the option to add another choice for them. First, so then we have fifth period. And I'm going to move that to be the first choice. Okay, at the bottom, you're going to show them the correct answer. And again, you can do exact match or give them partial credit if they get some of them right and some of them wrong. For matching, you type your question or you give the directions, match the word with part. Match the word to the correct part of speech. So we've got cat and cat, and that would be M. We've got Sylvester, cat, a proper noun. What did Sylvester do? He sat, and that's a verb. And then we can do, oh, I don't know, be an article. Okay. Here at this point, you again want to consider this to be how students are going to view it. So you're going to want to mix it up, mix it up, mix it up. And then you have to do the correct answer down here. Okay, so this is a proper noun. I'll drag it. This is the same process that they'll go through when they answer the question. There we go. So that's the answer key. And then for true, false, do dragons fly together? That's the question they'll see. And then you can change the options from true to something else. I'm going to change it to a yes, no question. Do dragons fly together? Yes, we do. And our last option is multiple choice. So for a multiple choice question, again, we are going to put a prompt. Which of the following is a true statement? Or you could say something like, which of the sentences has correct punctuation? And so we could say something like, how are you, period? How are you, question mark? How you, comma, randomly inserted. And then, how are you? I'm running out of punctuation. Let's do a dash. Okay, I know that's subjective, right? But whatever. I'm just trying to show you how the questions work. I would change that. But okay, so now we've got to choose the correct answer, which is this one. Here you can choose to shuffle how they see it. You can give them multiple choices. You can go for exact match, partial match. So maybe there are two that are correct, and we'll say this one could also be somewhat correct in certain cases. Okay, I'm not going to go through all these different options because we're trying to keep this simple. All right, so now I have a test with one of each of the different test question types. Multiple choice, true, false, matching, ordering, and fill in the blank will self-grade. If you have any of these other three subjective answers types, then question types, you'll have to go back and grade it yourself. So you can adjust the number of points. Right now, this is only worth 8 points, but maybe you want this one to be worth 20 points, this one to be worth 10. You can adjust that as you see fit. And like Google Docs, it automatically saves that, so you don't have to worry about it. I highly recommend before you push a test out, you preview it and you look at how it's gonna look for your students. So this is exactly how it's gonna look when they log in. So they're gonna get the questions all in the same order. For a video response, they get to record themselves. My name is Amy. And then you'll get to go back and watch all those. Next question, what is your favorite color? I press the record button. My favorite color is black. Next, write a paragraph about how much you love English class so much. Next, my favorite English teacher is Ashton. Okay, so I need to put these in chronological order. We're going to look for first period, second period, third period, fourth period, fifth period. And for the matching, we're going to go put this one up here. And Sylvester the cat's a proper noun. Drag and drop. Very simple. Of course, dragons fly together. And this one's a terrible question. Why would my teacher write such a terrible question? I don't know. Okay, so then the student would have the option to review, go back, decide which one to look at, or they can finish and submit. And that's what their test would look like to them. So once students have taken the test, you can go and check their grades. You can either go by question or by student. This will show you how much work each student has done. And then this kind of assimilates your data for you if you wish. So we've got our test made. And if we go back to the demo class, you will see here that the test is made and it is the blue puzzle piece and it's visible to students. You've pushed it out, you've enabled it, and they could go ahead and take it at any time. So that's basically how you create a test and put your test into Schoology.